I don't think I can shake hands with a Luo man. They are prone to cholera, Charles Njonjo. Known for his impeccable fashion sense, Njonjo was a great poster boy for the law profession, but he was as controversial as his eccentric lifestyle. Welcome back to Echoes of Time, where we explore all stories, events, and happenings around the world. Born in poverty in Kibiti in 1920, Njonjo was the son of the late Josiah Njonjo, paramount chief and one of the foremost collaborators of British colonial rule in Kenya. The Njonjo family were close friends of Harry Leakey, whose son Louis, and paternal grandson Richard, who died on the same day as Charles. Later played important roles in archaeology and Kenyan politics. Njonjo studied at Alliance High School in Kikuyu and later enrolled at Fort Hare University in South Africa, where he graduated with a bachelor's degree in English and South African law. Later on, he was offered a scholarship to study at the University of Exeter, and he moved to England in 1947. It was in England that Njonjo learnt the art of being a distinguished gentleman, not just in dressing, but also eloquency and mannerism. Following his graduation and admission to the bar at Gray's Inn, he became the second African to qualify as a lawyer after Arguing's Kodhek. Upon return to Kenya in 1954, he went into the state law office, where he was later appointed Assistant Registrar General. Njonjo's career picked up after he became the first Attorney General in the post-independence Kenya in 1963. In that role, he emerged the fiercest defender of Kenyatta's regime and a master schemer in the intrigues that dogged that era. For that reason, he made as many friends as foes within and outside government. So instrumental was Njonjo to Kenyatta's government that no appointment would be made without his approval. His controversies include orchestrating the collapse of the East African community, for which he attracted irk from the neighboring countries. In 1976, during a period of tense relations between Kenya and Uganda, Njonjo took part in secret negotiations with Israel that proved instrumental in the success of the Israeli military's Operation Entebbe. The government of Kenya allowed the Israeli armed forces to use Nairobi Airport as a stopover base in the context of the military assault on Entebbe Airport that ended a week-long hostage crisis involving Israeli air passengers taken prisoner by a PLFP commando. Njonjo was accused of facilitating illegal arms import into the country, and this was part of his grand plan to build an arsenal in his Haranto home in case an insurrection happened. Njonjo was also once accused of misusing his powers after he released convicted prisoners. President Jomo Kenyatta died in 1978 to be succeeded by Moi, as Njonjo had anticipated. Charles Njonjo entered into Parliament in April 1980 after retiring as Attorney General at the age of 60, a post in which he had served for 17 years. He had considered politics for over a decade but hesitated due to lack of a popular base. Even then, Njonjo was accused of bribing the MP for Kikuyu to allow him vie for the seat unopposed. A commission of inquiry would later crucify Njonjo for this and other crimes, including the attempted 1982 coup, but President Moi would later pardon him. Having been educated in England, Njonjo had adopted their way of life and largely despised anything African. He considered Africans to be inefficient and was, at one time, castigated as he would not even employ an African secretary in his office. At one point, he noted that he would not even shake the hand of a Luo as they carried cholera. With his hate for Africans, it was virtually impossible for the Duke of Kibeti to marry a woman from Kibeti or anywhere else in Africa. After spending almost 4 decades in public service, Njonjo decided to marry in 1972 at the age of 51 years. His choice of spouse, sophisticated and educated Englishwoman, Margaret Bryson. Njonjo was previously engaged to Margaret Wanjiru Koining, and their marriage would have made him Kenyatta's brother-in-law. Njonjo has 3 children and died in 2022. At the age of 102 years, having outlived most of his friends and foes from the Kenyatta and Moi regime, through his decades-long career in public service, Njonjo had amassed so much wealth and was considered, together with his brother James, as one of the richest families in Kenya. Despite his disdain for Africans, Njonjo died an African man, but nevertheless had a distinguished career in public service.